right, Shalom and Shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites. You know, another day in and day out. Prophesy the downfall of America, which is spiritual Egypt, Sodom, spiritual Babylon, modern day Rome, pretty much the last leg of Rome, and the uprising of Israel of the elect, you know, hoping that we the first fruits of Yahweh Shai's church. So we're going to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Kakadash. Rakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great men, so much salutation to the brothers, teaching work for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect, most high will. We're in the time the elect work is being done, the hopeful is still elect, Shalom, you know, blessings. And we're going to get it started. It's going to be called, you know, hopefully it's edifying, calling the white man's, America is the white man's heaven, pretty much. Yeah, you got to give more behind the camera. We can start with the earth is given to the hand of the wicked.
This is Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked.
Yeah, so this earth was given into the hand of the so-called white man. He's the wicked. And you can do the research and see that his track record proves that. You know, we don't have to do a magic trick for people to believe. They either believe or not, but the evidence is there. You know, so this was given it to the hand by Yahweh. It's all set up by Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai. So that's why he got the power to do what he has. These Negroes getting comfortable talking about there is no Bible, there is no word of God, he's not real, but they live in the so-called white man's world, and they'll continue to go to college and do things that pleases him and be a slave and shit.
Yeah, its faces is all on the money, man.
Yeah, all on the money, all in the White House, so-called, you know, the white. And really, the white people are not, they're not really white, so they're red. So it's really, you know, the red man's heaven. But we just say white, so because that's why people identify him as. You know, so we got to say it in layman terms so they can understand. But they're really the red people. If you go back in history, Esau was born red. He came out red all over like a heavy garment. And they try to put it on the Native Americans, and then now other people are breaking it down saying Moab is Esau and all this other BS. But they're the ones that try to hide it. But they're the ones that's called rednecks. They're the ones called Rothschild, which is red child. They're the ones that's bloody. They ones like they meat red. And we the prime two factors nations is Esau and Jacob, so-called white man, so-called black man. What's the name made Michael Jackson made a song called It Don't Matter If You're Black and White, but he had all the nations in there. Chinese don't say they black ever. Elam, East Indians never say they're black. Arabs never say they're black. Some of them do, but some of them are people. Some of the Elamites are people. Go ahead. So this America was given, the world was given into his hand, but this is his prime subject, you know, ideal of a paradise. You know, this is his heaven. Go ahead.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
He covered the faces of judges thereof, the angels, the main judge, Yahweh Shai. He covered, you know, he painted the likeness of his image in the books, like it says in the Apocrypha. You know, he Renaissance, the rebirth, he covered up all our images, put his up. He got us with that Christian dogma, you know, and everything else. The covering cast. Go ahead.
If not, where and who is he?
If not, who is he? You know, he covered up us. We're supposed to be the judges of the earth. It says saints shall judge the world, right? We're supposed to, and even the judges the smallest matters. Esau is no accountability of judging Israel like they should be judged with the law. When you go into his court system, it's not by this Bible. It's by his trash ass systematic dogma and whatever he believes in. So this is his world right now because Most High gave it to him, just like he gave Pharaoh high seat just to destroy him. You know, that's what he's doing. The same. This is spiritual Egypt. You know. So now they have power. They have military. How did Esau get so high in military? So where Jake ain't got shit. He ain't got a pot to piss in. He's still in the ghettos and slums. And the most he can get when he rises up in the seat is some kind of set up politician like Jesse Jackass and Al Sharpton. You know, no further than that. They don't got a military. They join him. You know. So how did that happen? Everybody else got Iran got nuclear capability. China got they heathens. They supposed to be under us, but they got nuclear capability. They joined the BRICS. Like I said, ain't no N in the BRICS. Ain't no Negroes in the BRICS. South Africa, they people. So it was given to the hand of so-called white. He rules right now. So this is his heaven. He came over here with 13 British colonies and colonized the land, and put us in slavery, and it became a paradise there. Because what is over there on the other side? Eastern world. They call this the Western world, the Wild Wild West. Over there in Eastern world, that's where judgment is. That's why it's going to take place over there. Yahweh Shabbat, the Valley of Decisions, the Yahweh judges. So they running from judgment. So they want to go on this westernized world to escape judgment over there. We were the Britons, we were the English, we were the who was that other? We were the Schwartz too. Yeah, but I want to mention those are one of the two main ones. Britain meaning the man of covenant, England meaning the land of angels, and it's another one. So yeah, but it's still another one I'm thinking about. But it happened in Irish. Yeah, all that. We the Irish and all that. But even in Rome, we had the Western Rome and Eastern Rome. The Eastern Rome was us, the Byzantine Empire, going into the Moors. Yeah, even though it was paganistic, it was still our rule, and Western fell. So they're used to that, trying to build that Western mentality, world mentality up, just like here in America, getting away from the Eastern world judgment. So now they made their own laws, here in America. Go ahead. Yeah.
This is Genesis chapter 27, verse 38.
And you know the story, Esau and Jacob. Red came out red all over like a hairy garment, because we use to dye our garments and all that, dye animal hair and make animal skin and dye it like an hairy garment. And his brother, came out plain like everybody else that's born of melanin and earth.
You go into that word, red, you go into the root word of it, it says to show blood pour from the face. So it's like no pigment. That's what it's talking.
Yeah, if they go to a beach and it's a sunny day, they're gonna be all red. Because what they do right here is they build Petra up in these buildings so they can hide behind the sun. So the buildings can block the sun out.
And that's why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they be out here always trying to get them tans, trying to do all that, man. Because they really trying to act like they us or something. Yeah. Genesis chapter 27, verse 38, and Esau said unto his father, "As thou but one blessing, my father, bless me even also. Me also."
So if you understand, there's a certain thing called reincarnation that the Christians don't believe in. But when you go back to the story of Cain and Abel, Cain slew Abel. First he had melanin, but he slew Abel, and Most High took his pigmentation away from a curse, and he said he's going to be a vagabond and a fugitive on the earth. That's what the so-called white man. He's a vagabond. That's why he's called Tubal Cain, a traveling weapon, because he has really no home. He's trying to make America his home. If he can't go over there, that's why the BRICS, Putin he's being smart. He's joining these other nations. He's joining Iran. I mean, well, they joining him, but he got the power, but he's being smart about it. Like, yeah, I gotta get with these dark nations. He brought the truth out about Israel being a dark-skinned people. Why do you think he's being smart? He's really playing chess. America's like, nah, we want to be independent. The lady of Chaldeans want to disconnect from their Britain family origin because they know we were the real Britons. They don't want to have anything to do with the Eastern world, so to speak. You know, what happened with the Iron Curtain? Russia had their Eastern ally. You know, America had their Western ally. So it's the West pretty much against the East. But it's really, you know, Most High Satan against Satan. It boils all down to it. Go ahead.
Oh, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice.
So if you don't know about Esau, he's the son of Isaac. He was a brother of Jacob, and he's represented to a so-called white man now because everybody's in this book. You know what I'm saying? These nations are all in this book, including Esau. You know,
You said Esau and Jacob represented nations.
yeah. Because we right now we on the east side. This is the East Village right here. They live better on the west side.
Yep.
Yep.
And over here, you can't put your bike out overnight. Somebody steal your back tire. That's where we at.
What did, go ahead. I was just thinking about them shows, the movies that, you know, when you're on the east side, you know, you're going to see black people. Even in Oklahoma City,
Yep.
east side is straight niggas over there, man. Northeast High School.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of,
Popping up out of nowhere. It look a little bit more westernized though.
Yeah.
he said,
And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Yeah, Esau wept. He was, because he had already not had, the blessing was already passed down to Jacob, his brother, which consists of so-called Black, Latino, Native American tribes of Israel. And if you don't believe that, it's proven in the spirit. That's why these Christians are not spiritual, man. If they were spiritual and did their research, even in history, they would know that that's true. You know, dealing with locations, dealing with, you know, the spirit and the salt of the people. These nations don't got no salt. Ham got no salt. You know, the Africans, the Arabs, they don't got no salt. They do their little dance, but they ain't got no salt. Everybody wants to see Jake. Everybody wants to see the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. Even when they have their powwows, our Native brothers have their powwows, everybody want to be them. You know? Everybody want to be Snoop Dogg and shit, man. Even these other heathens. I mean, these heathens besides Esau, they want to be Snoop Dogg. You know? But Snoop Dogg is a Gadite. I believe 100% that. You know? Yeah. But he's still labeled as a nigga. Go ahead.
Verse 39. And it reads, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
And they try to, you know, misquote that scripture, if I'm saying it right, and try to say it means something else. Fatness is possessions, having, you know, fullness of wealth. And everywhere he goes, everywhere he sets his foot, there's wealth. Yeah, you got some Edomites that's on drugs. You got Edomites that are bummed. So the fuck, well, we talking about the core of a nation, man. There's our rich people. Some of our people are rich. That don't mean that the whole nation is that don't mean that don't save us from poverty. Shit, you got Oprah. She's a billionaire. She ain't done nothing for her own city that she grew up in, which is Chicago. And they probably lied about that. You got another. All these entertainers, they're so-called millionaires. They ain't did nothing as a whole for so-called black people. You know, go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
And the dew of heaven. So he gets riches. He get the whole land of America. He rules the whole world, but America, he feel like, man, that's his gift from God. And which it is. He was blessed. And this is a part of it. It's a part of his blessing. So he gets to do anything. He gets to make any kind of laws. He gets to set up any kind of barricades. He gets to build bridges if people knock them down. He gets to change residencies of the people, of the citizens, change laws, change times. You know, he gets to raise taxes, raise rent. He could do anything he want to do, man. world is his, you know. And then when Jake say the world is yours, they grow up and they say, well, I want to be a doctor. And then they try to go be a doctor, and then they get bumped down and get, fired or whatever. And now they, get working at Walmart or something, or McDonald's. It don't work the same for them. That's Edomites, they're rich. They got support, they got family support. They got financial support, They got a strong foundation of white privilege. That's what it is. They got an uncle that's a lawyer. They got a dad that's a cop. They got about 3 of their family members as electricians and shit, roofers and shit. And not only that, they can hire our people because they got the money. You can't hire nobody. You might say, yeah, cut my yard for $20, but you can't hire a whole staff of employees, man.
That's the difference. It's that generational wealth.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They had a lot of wealth before we even got to even be considered as citizens.
Yeah.
To even get to come out here.
Yeah. They had in the cotton fields, sugar fields, whatever, corn fields, while we was working, our people were working hard, blood, sweat, tears. They were building up this American shit. Bridges and industrial factories and all that, machinery. You know how much it is to buy a machine and shit, a machine that prints stuff out, to where you're able to make a whole factory about that. Shit, it'll probably cost you like $80,000 to $100,000. Jake ain't got that kind of money. If Jake wanted to buy military power, they wouldn't let him at first, but then he won't even have the money to do it. Who gonna trade with you? You gotta, if they have a trading system with military might, you ain't got enough to show to get a couple of missiles in your possession, or even a tank in your possession. Shit. So Jake ain't doing too well, man. In the white man's heaven. Tupac had a song called "This White Man's World." It's his world, man. Go ahead.
Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live.
Yep, and that's what he's doing. He's living by his sword. Anytime he's a Christian, but anytime somebody got a problem with him, he'll bomb him. They'll give him an ultimatum. Look, get out of that country or we're gonna bomb you and your children. Using Japan as an example, he put Agent Orange on all of them, on the children also. Flesh eating acid. Soapy, foamy acid, to where if you try to get it off you, it'll even burn more. It becomes soapy and you can't get it off. Go ahead.
So and by
that was Hiroshima, Nagasaki, atom bomb, dropped the atom bomb on it. Oh, and it's history too, proving that he dropped bombs on Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying?
You can find the bombs, or he was talking about World War II, which the Quan was talking about. You can find that in Revelation.
Yeah.
It speaks of it in the 13th chapter.
Yeah. And you can still find sulfur over there that comes from nuclear weapons. Go ahead.
That's something about, and he also these bioweapons.
Yeah.
They release there's chemicals in the air, and also these different what are they called? Different insects like they use they weaponize against
technocracy.
Yeah. So I mean that links up with the so-called white man. Thou shalt live by thy sword.
Yeah, I mean like I've said before in one of my lessons, you don't have Chinese that have a gun magazine. Shit. East Indian that got gun magazine. That's all Esau. You don't find Chinese as the hunting man. You put hunter in the Google and it's all Esau, man. So he's considered as the cunning hunter too, the cunning hunter.
And that stuff, like he said, has been affecting the earth since to this day. They just had to pour a whole bunch of that radioactive water back into the ocean. So they didn't have nothing else to do with it.
Yeah, like we said, he got the whole world in his hands. There's a song called that. He got the power in his hands. He could pollute the water, to poison people, and all the people gonna say, "Well, how did that happen?" how is this happening? Well, acid rain. Well, who's dropping the acid rain? Well, we find out that they're dropping barium from the plains. Who's flying the planes? It ain't Moab. It's not Elam. You know, it's not Africans and shit. Go ahead.
And shalt serve thy brother.
You shall serve your brother. You're gonna serve Jacob. Yeah. Forever until you get destroyed for 1,000 years. Go ahead. And really, he kind of serves us now in a way. He got to make sure we got Section 8 and shit. You know, he got to make sure we got, you know what I'm saying, give the Negro something because we don't want no rebellion and shit.
He got to make sure that he has to build everything up aligned with what the scriptures say for prophecy to pass too. Because don't you think if he was that wise, he wouldn't build America like this if he knew it was going to get destroyed? You know, they didn't know they latter end, you know, that they was going to die by the same sword.
Well, it says he's gonna be destroyed, so they build a missile defense system. Shit, if you was cool with your people and your allies, and you the ruler of the world, why you got a missile defense system?
So they trying to put that golden dome up. But right now, it ain't up. It's just a proposal. You know how long that's gonna take.
Exactly. You don't want to see a bully going to school with a stick because he know he can whip everybody's ass. But Esau got a stick. He got a weapon because he knows something might turn back on his ass. And he know the scriptures. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So that's where we at right now. Right now, he's you know, in a position of power where we can't take him down. The Lord's gonna have to come take him down.
Yeah, because at one time we ruled during the Dark Ages. We had them where we didn't have. They went and we drove them into the caves, man. You know, that's why you get that word Caucasian means cave dweller, man. We didn't make the word up. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at these buildings, like we always say, Fossil L's on down, that's a form of Petra, you know, of rocks and pretty much a concrete jungle.
Yeah, when you go, like I was watching some videos on Petra yesterday, it was a whole like region of it through the mountains, man. Yeah. They had little cities and towns, they had a courthouse, everything looked just like here.
And Petra means rock. It comes from the word Peter, which means rock. But on our part, on the righteous part, Peter is the rock. King David, that's our rock, you know. Go ahead. With Yahweh Shai being the main rock. Go ahead.
Verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith.
Because of the blessing, because he know he can't get it back. Because what did Isaac say? And he will be blessed. Like he can't turn it back, the blessing. And that was of the Most High, because it was a whole spiritual thing that came upon Rebecca to tell Jacob, look, you know, you got to get this birthright or your brother gonna rule. You know, you got to get it. And then Esau lied and said he supplanted me these 2 times. Isn't he rightly named Jacob, which is Jacob, which is supplanter, which is the spirit of Jake too, when he's not in his, before we become princes of power, we got to supplant this devil. But when we become princes of power, and we got that spiritual power, you think we're gonna have to supplant? You think we're gonna have to find a way to get off of work and shit? You know, find a way to dodge the cops and shit, take the back road because we might get pulled over or get shot. No, we're gonna be body slamming them. So Jacob, you know, he said your name should no longer be Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. You gonna have power with God and men, the Prince of Power. So when we woke up, Most High woke us up. We witnessed the first of our power, which is Yahweh, the second of our power, which is Yahweh Shai, and now we understand the power that comes in this Bible, and that's why they're trying to get rid of it. If this was a so-called white man's Bible, we couldn't read from it. It even says in the scriptures, how can Satan cast out Satan? Satan can't be represented by anything good, man. That's right. You know? So we couldn't talk this Bible all the way through, doing all kind of breakdowns if this was the so-called white man's Bible. We look like fools, man.
He would be doing it.
Yeah, he would be in. This would be all in church. He would be talking about the history and the breakdowns of the dragon.
They're not doing that because when they in the churches, man, they be using like 2-3 scriptures,
Yeah,
and it ain't got nothing to do with prophecy.
Yeah.
And then you know what? That proves that Edomite in the camps. You know, you know, because like you said, how Satan go
exactly
come up against Satan.
Yeah, and if they fall out, that was Satan getting to him. Yeah, going to battle. But also, what I was gonna say about you said something. What they do in the church? Yeah, they even had a slave Bible, man. Why would they make a slave Bible? Why would they ban the Bible? They couldn't. They banned the Bible, man. Because inside you, they'll know that this resonates with my spirit. Oh shit. Go ahead. Yeah.
So because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
Yep, their birthright. You know, they mad because their birthright. And you be like, damn, why Esau got so much hostility against the so-called black man? Mainly, you know, so-called Latinos too, Native Americans, but they mainly the black man. Why is so much hostility? They like put the foot, and it's all kind of bywords that come with it, or kind of stereo. I mean, what do you call it? Scenario type of like the foot on the neck and shit, and free. Put your hands up, and phrase like byword phrases, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Don't out while being black or something, or that only pertains to our people. Those are the curses. There ain't no Edomite that has ever witnessed depth of those curses like that. They'll go to jail. So what? They'll get arrested. So what? We're talking about the depth of this thing that runs deep, that goes all the way back to the ancient world, man. Go ahead.
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Now, the Heavenly Father, he don't believe in, or he don't say, he don't exist. So that's why he be slaying us. He's doing the same, having the same spirit of Esau. Like, now my father's gone. Now the father, now we don't have no spiritual powers or whatever, and not under our father as far as it being manifested us as gods on earth. He's gonna be like, it's time to slay him. So he slay us with the sword. He handcuffs us, put us in jail. In control of the jurisdiction, in control of a 12-man jury that's all Edomites and shit. You think we was able to fight for our rights, even being innocent in a matter of, not doing what they said we did during slavery? No, they said hang this nigga. He got a so-called white man, white Edomite wife he looked at my wife. He deserves to hang. And you could look at somebody and be like, damn, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, in disgust. Or, like, all right, just, and then they'll still say you looking at her like you wanted her or something. And slay you because of that. Or, I thought he had a gun when you got an orange wallet. And there are no orange guns and shit. So now they got to do the whole wallet thing and shit. And the protests and Black Lives Matter, all that black shit, man. That black goof shit. Getting stuck in tar and shit. That's that black face shit, man. That Black Lives Matter and black this and black is this black face shit, man. It doesn't help so-called black people as a whole. It never did. Black Lives Matter, you find out that's 3 lesbians. Black Power, you find that goes back to, once again, the whole world can use that. Civil rights movement, gays are using that. All the things, the foundation of what was built on the so-called black people is a curse. You got BET, it was sold to a so-called white people. Apollo, sold to so-called white people. It used to be consonant. It used to be, I was listening to Public Enemy today. They said, fight the powers that be. They say, he talked about Elvis stealing the black man's music. But now, the BET, now they got just twerking and shit, and niggas selling smoking weed and selling drugs. That's BET, Black Entertainment Television.
And they got Jake trying to fit in what he saw with the Met Gala thing. You know, we just seen Outkast over here. He had a whole goddamn piano on his back.
Yeah, Andre 3000.
Yeah, man. Like,
and doing some weird videos.
Some weird ass shit, man. That ain't doing nothing for our people, man.
And tell me why they the only ones that's capitalizing off our weakness. Like even with the black man wearing a dress, you ain't never seen no Chinese high level wearing no dresses. I know East Indian wearing dresses, you know, in the public. I ain't never seen, what is it, Jackie Chan? I ain't never seen them push him in a dress, you know, Jet Li and all them, you know. Some of these other new coming heathens that's being incorporated into the black fabric or black entertainment world along with us, you know. They don't got it. They how many so-called black men been in dresses?
All of them.
All of them.
Kevin Hart, Terry Crews,
Dwayne Wade and shit.
Jamie Foxx,
Yeah, Shaq, Larry Johnson,
Ron James, I think.
Shit, most definitely even been in a dress. You know? Like what the hell is going on? Flip Wilson.
And they all got prominent positions in the Hollywood world, you know.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence.
You know, these are so they prove, you know, that prove that, you know, you gotta sell out just to get that top position, man.
It proves the hatred that they got for Jake.
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with being gay. Really, it has to do more with control.
Yeah.
They want to have control of the best.
Not only that, it got something to do with Jacob and Esau, man. Because if he can't slay all of us, well, he's gonna slay us through this media. He's gonna slay us through, you know, what do you call it, estrogenizing, you know, feminizing. He's gonna destroy us with crap or drugs, you know, fentanyl. You know,
he gets the best influencers of Jake to do that.
Yeah. So he starts with the head. It says you slay the head and the whole body of her. You slay the shepherd and the sheep are scattered. So he'll let Malcolm X have a platform, and then he'll kill Malcolm X, and then next thing you know, nobody's a Muslim. Hardly, you know, they take Muslim for a joke, which it is. It's a you know, it's a religion, but it's still got moral factors a little bit to it. It's not as watered down as a lot of these, you know, Scientologist type of things. I don't know what to call them, but go ahead.
This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 10.
Doctrines, dogma, or whatever.
It reads, he croucheth and humble himself that the poor.
Go before that. Go before that. Go before that. Go before that. Might as well go one, yeah.
This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. And it reads, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble?
Well, the Most High said he would separate them. I mean, that you have persuaded yourselves to go the other way. So he turned his back on Israel. Just like you turning your back on your woman that's supposed to be a good wife, and then she found out she's a slut, she done fucked everybody on the block. You turning your back on her. You like, don't talk to me. Don't call me no more. Hang up the phone, change your address, change the number, go to another city, and leave that bitch out there. You know? What did Most High do? Israel, you played harlot under every green tree, man. And then you whistle at everybody that passed by like a harlot in the window. Oh, there go more. Now you got Jake's they marry Moabite women, they go learn more white religion and language. And next thing you know, they are Buddhists or whatever they be worshiping over there. Same thing with every other religion. Right? They want to be Scientologists now. They want to be humanitarians now. The hell is a humanitarian and shit? That should be natural. You're supposed to do something for the human life anyway, man. It ain't supposed to be no fucking damn establishment or organization of humanitarianism. Go ahead.
The wicked in his pride doeth mercy.
There you go. That key word, the wicked. Because what it say, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. We still on that. Hey, who's the wicked, man? They said if not him, where and who is he? Is that wicked again? Go ahead.
The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor.
So yeah, the poor, because Israelites. Now a poor man can still do wicked, but he ain't the wicked. You know, you got a poor man that's still bread. Then and if you catch him, you be like, well, what the hell are you doing? I got a family to feed. I got a wife and 3 children, and I just need a loaf of bread to make sandwiches. You gonna forget that man. You be like, well, don't steal no more. Just like Yahweh Shai said to that woman, don't sin no more. Because he understood the matters at hand. He understood how men think about women. You know? We ain't no like 100% women bashers. We understand they the weaker vessel. We're talking about the ratchet women and going the ones that be fucked, put up a finger every time you see them and shit. Or act nasty or have a nasty attitude every time you see them. We ain't talking about the woman that cries out and that's sorry for her in her situation, her condition and needs help. You know? That's what Yahweh Shai saw in that woman. Go ahead. That's what Most High sees in Israel when they cry out. The righteous cry out of Israel is elect. That's that woman that crying out, that's sorrowful for everything she did. But Jake ain't sorry for what they did or what they doing. Go ahead.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined,
because they have made devices. Secret devices. They got secret chambers. They got summits. They meet. They got, they set up themselves privately against the poor. So a lot of shit you can't even see. That's why everybody think we fighting an invisible enemy. Like, yeah, so-called white man ain't so bad. But when you really find out what he's doing to the earth and his plans behind closed doors, it's coming out because he's being exposed. Then you're gonna be like, damn, these are the most wicked people in the world, man. They force you to take a needle or force syphilis on you. Just go back to his old track record, man. You know, it's even worse now, but it's just hidden. He put syphilis on the so-called Native American for no reason. They good people. Hey, come in, we'll share the land with you, or whatever. And then they put syphilis in their blankets. Little children also.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah, small. I said syphilis, but I meant smallpox. But yeah, Tuskegee Airmen. You know, or they'll put Jake on the front line to get him killed because they know. You know, they won't give him the best of weapons. They like let the niggas use the rusty weapons and shit. Go ahead. Let them have the old mop and the old mop bucket and shit.
And they doing that same thing. They still doing that. Yeah. They ain't changed.
It's slavery. Like you work at McDonald's and then they give a nigga a new mop and the nigga be smiling like a motherfucker. Like, oh, I finally got it. I look dignified. I look more dignified. You know. He give him an education. He don't feel like nothing. He give him an education. He feel more. The Negro feel more dignified. But that's not your education. You don't learn about your own people. Go ahead.
Verse 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance.
See the pride of his countenance. Because what does the Most High say in Deuteronomy? It says, he shall send a nation against thee with fierce countenance that should not regard the young or the old. He don't care how old Jake get. He'll still like, can you make it to work? This man is 80 years old. It's a native, so-called native, as a so-called Mexican work at the job now. He done got sick. He hasn't been in lately, but he's 75 years old, and they got him unloading trucks and shit. And then you take the little children and shit, and they be like, they'd be like waiting for him to grow up so he can work. But then they'll put Similac on the shelves, They put they feed them all kind of candy and poisonous cereal and shit. Then he got diabetes by the time he's like 10 years old and shit. Then he got messed up teeth, so he got to go to the dentist. You know? And then they play with these brand names like they just on top of their shit. So when you buy, now you gotta buy your son or daughter a pair of Nikes. It gotta be some Jordans, or people will laugh at you. You know, you gotta have a Gucci purse, or they'll laugh at you. That's all the so-called white man's brand name, man. Go ahead.
Through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High.
Will not seek after the Most High. He's on living on the hill. He's living in the towers. He's rich. He take boat. What do you call it? Boat trips almost every other day. Plane trips every day. You know, he got a private jet, and he got. Every time I see these so-called white people's house, they got they got two cars, brand new cars. They got a fucking a damn Jeep, four-wheeler. They got about 3 bikes, one each for the family. And then they got what else you call it? Did I say boat? They got a boat. You know,
They got an outhouse.
they got an outhouse, a back house. And then what a Negro do if he get a wife with a white woman, and that's their daughters, they'll let him sleep in the guest house, the back house. You know, and he's just having fun. But you think they're gonna let all niggas sleep, or you gonna think they're gonna let his friends sleep there? No, it's just that one nigga for his daughter. You think they're gonna let every Negro be a millionaire and shit? That's just Oprah. That's just who is another one? She's like the richest person, almost the richest black person in the world. You know, Dr. Dre and all them, you know, all them fucking celebrities, man. It's a handful of them motherfuckers if you think about it. There's all kind of funny people that's comedians all across the world, sportsmen, basketball players that play better than a lot of these niggas. They ain't getting in the league because you know why? They ain't selling out. How you gonna have one black woman and she's the only iconic black woman that surpassed the deeds of a lot of other black women that work hard and do dishes and clean houses and be maids and shit. Meanwhile, this bitch just got a show and showing her ass in an Oprah magazine and a whole network, and she's a billionaire and shit. Go ahead.
The Most High is not in all his thoughts.
He ain't in all his thoughts. Because he'll thank the Most High like, oh yeah, sweet old America. Thank God. Ain't in all his thoughts though. Because he's building this new world order. They ain't of the Most High. Show me one scripture in the Bible and the Most High said build a new world order and shit. And make it ran by technology. Go ahead.
Verse 5, his ways are always grievous.
His ways are always grievous. And what did it say in the Apocrypha? His ways are grievous unto us, and we're grievous to him. When he pass and see us, niggers teaching hate, teaching, you know, this foundation, wasn't America founded on hate? Didn't they hate us? Didn't they slaughter us by the millions? 77 million, 99 million, and counting, blood, hanging, burning. Isn't that hate? Isn't that what, if that's not hate, what is it, man? If I got somebody hanging in my yard all day, night, and then after I see him hang, and this is somebody that ain't done shit. He didn't murder nobody. He just didn't pick enough cotton and shit. And then you have him hanging out there, and then you burn him and shit in front of everybody.
Then take his baby and throw him in the lake with the alligators.
Yeah.
So his wife will see all that shit, man.
Or the oven. Yeah. Or put them in a hot box and burn them slowly and make them cook slowly. And then
that's the kind of shit they was doing to Jenkins.
Hey man, you can't say nothing about hate But when it's done to you, what? Now he cries out. Just like Esau back then. Does it have one blessing? He sold his birthright. And he still cried out. That's the kind of shit Esau do, the so-called white man do. Tell me that's not him. You like mine, Shalom, some brothers and sisters on kind of work. Shalom. And then he want to lock you up for telling the truth about his history. Or sing you out and talk about, yeah, these niggas are drug dealers. They come from, you come from, you know, when Esau talks about Jake, he called him a crack baby. All Jakes wasn't affected by that crack shit. All Jakes wasn't out there selling drugs or gangbanging or in poverty. It's a lot of Jakes was doing well and shit, man. The fuck you talking about, man? It was more Edomites on crack than it was Jake. It was more Edomites on welfare than it was Jake's. Do the history on that. Do the research on that.
Even on food stamps, got consistent for it.
And his body still is. They doing worse than they used to do. Yeah. And then they want to hate us. That's why the Most High is they're gonna put your ass down, man.
And that's heavy you said as a part because you know my past experience, you know, it was more Edomites in there than Jake.
Yeah.
I was getting mad. I'm like, man, that was Jake is. You know, it was nothing.
But they get out because you know why? They get assistance from drug facilities. I mean, drug rehabilitation facilities. Like this one dude at the job, he kind of looked like a skinhead. He got all tattoos and I think he even got a snake on him. He said that I get frustrated and all that. He said I think I have what do they call that? ADHD. Like every time so-called white people get mad and angry and kill, it's always they got a fucking disease or something or mental illness that you gotta care for. What about just them just being wicked that they just meant to do the shit? Yeah. Jeffrey Dahmer, they got a whole movie about him, and then they say he got a troubled childhood. But when Jake grow up and do some, shoot up some shit, they be like he's evil, he's wicked. Come from a drug family, all this people on drugs. That's why the Most High said he's called the accuser of our brethren. He bear false witness. He's going to reap the wrongdoing against the scriptures for all that he say, all that he does. Because he claims he's a Christian, and he's not. He claims he follows the Bible, and so he's going to live by he got to live by that, man. And that he don't, Most High going to put him in slavery, man. Yep. Go ahead. God just says you reap what you sow. He reap murder, you get soul murder. I mean, you sow murder, you're gonna reap murder. You sow wickedness gonna come upon you. What it say? The wicked of our people are gonna be on the Israelites. I mean, on the Edomites. Because Jake can get wicked too, man. You know, our people, we know it. We know it firsthand because we come from those places. So we seen our people, man. Every time you walk in the store, if there's a nigga in there, you gotta worry about damn, this nigga might try to kill me and shit. There's somebody that look just like him. Tell me that ain't the curses. You go to a function in this shit, and it's music and fun, and you gotta worry about somebody getting shot. You expect somebody to get shot because that's how it always ends. Go ahead.
Thy judgments are far above out of his sight.
Yeah, he don't understand the Most High judgment. That's right. He don't understand. He go, well, why everybody gotta, why everybody got some people gotta be punished or wake up to everlasting contempt. Why do some people go to hell? Why is this and that? They don't understand the Most High judgment. It says his judgment is like the ring. They don't understand reincarnation. Why you come back? Why you who you are? They enjoy being Edomites. Don't get it wrong. They enjoy being the so-called white man. They got to heaven. If that was the case, they'll give America up. They'll say, Lord, get on their knees in front of everybody all the so-called black people, Latino, Native Americans in front of the whole world and say we surrender, we give our military up, we give America up and our power. We sorry, Yahweh Shai ain't gonna do that. They enjoy having the power that they have. Bombing people if they get out of hand, man. Go ahead.
As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
Yeah, he puffed at them, man. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 6, he have said in his heart.
And we're his main enemies. We don't even have weapons. We don't have the equal weapons that he have, equal power that he have, but we're still his number one enemy. He's worried more about us than Iran. He's worried more about us than Russia and all them other countries that were looking at him funny and sideways.
Yeah, you know, it said James 5 said God slay the just I don't think he said just. But it said he resisted. Not, you know,
yeah.
roughly paraphrasing, but
Well, and to say they slay them and hold themselves not guilty. That's another one. Go ahead.
He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved.
In his mind, he said he shall not be moved. Not from the firmaments, not from the power seat, not from ruling the whole world, not from his summits, his mountains, his caves, his high dwellings. He shall not be, he don't think he's going to be removed from it. Go ahead.
For I shall never be in adversity.
He is not big, but he is in adversity. Because all these nations are looking at him, you know, they hate the whore, which is a representation of their capital power. Because you know what? If America was to flourish, you know, and they'll control everybody, you know who's moving over here? Russia. Who's to be moving over here? You know? And then they'll they'll establish power over here, and then they'll let all these other nations come in here as servants. But he's like, I don't know, we ain't going to America. Shit, it's prophesied gonna be destroyed, and America is just, you know, she's it's like like your harlot. You know, have a pimp have to keep a harlot in line, and the harlot like, I don't need you no more, and they be arguing with them and shit. They going down the street and come here, come, you know, she kick them in the knee and the balls and shit, and she run off and shit. Like, I don't need you no more. You know? So America, so-called July the 4th, Independence Day, they don't need Britain no more, so to speak. But they do. She's just a harlot that rides on the beast. The beast is the main. The woman is the same main target and subject because she's riding on the beast. But when they shoot the woman down off the beast, then you go after the beast. That's what's going to happen when we come out of them chariots. You know, Edom's going to be downsized after America be destroyed. And then we're going to take the remnant of Edom, which is the small hats, which is the elites, and make them build our places. First, they're gonna have to bury the dead. Go ahead.
His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud.
You're not the only one. We don't curse. He curses. Full of cursing, deceit, and pride, man. He cursed the Bible. He cursed the Israelite. He cursed Yahweh Shai. Full of deceit. He deceived the masses. He deceived. Now he got niggas drunk on that wine, that Christian wine. If they're not Christians, they don't believe in God at all. They're not, you know, atheists, which they call atheists do believe in God, because there wouldn't be such thing as atheists.
You can't be against something that don't exist. Exactly. It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it too. Yeah, like,
yeah. You just should be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Moving on. Go ahead.
So under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
Under his tongue, man, in the secret places, you know, is mischief and vanity. Like he'll say, like that even happened with Antiochus Epiphanes. He tricked the Israelites talking good, and then he came to slaughter them, man. You know, what it says, where's the smooth and butter? War was in his heart. It's salted in oil, but war, it was with drawing swords. Go ahead.
And a lot of these people, they don't get that. Most of this stuff, you we ain't even worried about these just regular Edomites, man. We're talking about the top, man. That's what we coming for.
Yes.
You know, that's who we aiming at. You know, but they all gonna be held accountable for their actions. You know what I'm saying?
Because the regular Edomites as children, what they say, they should complain of an ungodly father because they were lied to.
Because a lot of them, they deceive too. They don't know that.
They don't know nothing. These Christians just regurgitate what they've been taught in church.
Yep.
Jesus loves all, and then they walk away. And then you got people in pain and saying, "Well, how did Jesus love all?" I'm fucked up. We ain't saved we ain't saved from this condition. You know, most of us are fucked out here, man. Fucked over. Can't afford medical. It says, you know, if you don't got good medical, they don't even give you good. They won't give you good medicine. They won't help you. They won't assist you in good medical care because you ain't got money. But over there in Canada, healthcare is free and shit. What kind of bullshit is that? So you have to have money to live. You have to have money for people to care about you and shit. You know, go ahead. But you'll have a dog that'll save your life. You know, go ahead.
He sent in the lurking places of the villages.
Yeah, that's what he do. That's what the cops do too. They call it another term is entrapment. They'll put some money or some drugs stashed in a place where the so-called black man can see it when he's walking down the street, and he'll so-called black man's like, I don't even sell drugs, but he'll pick it up because I need money, and I'll just do it this one time, and then they'll take him to jail. You know. So they set Jake up, and they look at it. You know, the cop. Hey, I know nigga was gonna be speeding. He probably ain't gonna have his tags right. You skip one day and shit. You don't have your tags, take you to jail. Shit. I don't get paid till tomorrow and shit. Well, you should have figured that out. So if you don't got no forgiveness with Jake, you ain't gonna have. No, it says Most High ain't gonna show no mercy that have shown no mercy. If you see he's a good working man and he got a job and all that, give him a fucking chance to get his bills paid. Instead of that one day shit, man. This man don't even got a record. He ain't tricking nobody and shit. Or it's been a while since he got in trouble. But you still hold that against him. 7 years? A man can change his life in one day. We did. What did it say? The spirit is quickening this shit, man. A man can change. You could cold turkey stop smoking and shit. And then somebody come to you, that motherfucker still smoking. Then you think you're gonna be proving to this motherfucker you don't smoke anymore? You just gonna have to outlive his ass so he can see that he's the one that's gonna catch you. Whatever.
It's a double standard too, because I think about that Michael Vick situation with all the dogs. They gave him hell.
Yeah.
He went to jail, served his time, but you got Edomites out here sleeping with dogs and stuff. It's like you don't ever really. Anytime they do something, it's on the road.
Yeah. You know, and they put a stigma on it now. Like even the dog is ruined now. Now the pit bull, he's a black man's dog. He's the worst thing ever. Because so-called black people usually own pit bulls, so they put a negative spin on everything that we touch, everything that we own and shit, man. You know? Shalom to the brothers tuning in on coming board. Sister Shalom, y'all go ahead.
He sent in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places, doeth he murder the innocent?
Yeah, he murdered the innocent. He's a murderer. What did it say? Yahweh Shai said he was a murderer from the beginning. Cain slew Abel, and then after he slew him, he said, "Shall I be my brother's keeper?" That's the same shit they do today. It's like, oh, the drugs. Is that our problem? That's the Negro's problem. You brought the drugs in here, though. You know. If you use logic to a situation And you give any kind of man the opportunity to make more money in a day, triple money in a day, and he's living and his back is against the wall, and he has no way out. He's gonna take that most likely. But then you're gonna call him a drug dealer. But he wouldn't have the drugs in his hand if you wouldn't brought him the drugs and shit. But then you got people like all these fucking pedophiles in the fucking industry. And then what you gonna tell him? Well, if there wasn't no children around, what is he gonna say? If there was no children around, I wouldn't have done it. That's a different kind of situation, dumbasses. You're supposed to raise the children with love and affection as sons and daughters. That's different from selling drugs, you dumbasses. There's no harm. Well, you could harm yourself most of all. You know, but when they sell drugs, they selling to a grown ass people that got a mind of their own to say do drugs if they want to or not. We're not saying that we're not condoning that shit and giving them a pass for that shit, but they ain't selling drugs to little children, man. Go ahead. They just see an opportunity and say, man, I can make more money doing this. But then they have plans to get out the game. I just sell for a couple of years, you know, and I get out the game. But he never gets out. But you got bigger drugs here. Like what kind we can say? Shit, you take 10 pills, you take 10 aspirins, that'll kill you. They putting fentanyl in everything. That'll kill you if you take too much. But if Jake have a like this is just to eat for the day, you ain't got no kilos, you ain't got a trunk of fucking drugs. You just doing that to get by. But they'll act like you the worst person in the world for that shit. Meanwhile, they got big ass planes coming over here with kilos and kilos in them. They got big ass factories with drugs and drugs in them. How you gonna have that? You got a factory full of drugs and cocaine, and they never seen these people take in the drugs and bring them out and take them in and shit. Meanwhile, Jake got a dime rock in his pocket. And, oh shit, you the worst person in the world. They give you like 10 years for that shit. That's how you know you're dealing with a real fucking devil when you deal with these. And when they come for us and shit, just know that you the righteous, man. No matter what you've done, even if you're doing wicked in this way, you still gonna be brought back in the righteous line of Jacob. That shouldn't give you a mind to do wicked. We just saying these motherfuckers are the wicked. They the ones that don't love Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
His prize are privately set against the poor.
Against the poor. Go ahead.
Verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den.
As a lion, man. You know when a lion gets you, they take you apart. They rip you apart. That's what he does. He rips Jake apart. So he ain't got no more. He gives Jake 3 life sentences. How you know these Jakes that you see on this public on TV? How you know they really did the crime and shit? And then he'll take one man, and you might get mad at your woman, and then she'll understand you, and he'll still take you to jail and shit. Because he just wants to get the so-called black man. Oh, it's all right, don't take him to jail. Nah, sir, we gotta search your records. Oh, you gotta get a history of violence, you know. Go ahead.
He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor.
Go to that scripture. It's another scripture say he go to and fro as a lion seeing who he may devour. See, the Most High let him play the lion on the left-hand side, but Yahweh Shai is the lion on the right-hand side. When that lion comes, because he was a lamb and y'all slew him as a lamb, but when he come as a lion, he gonna rip y'all asses apart, man. The Lion of Judah.
This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about, seeking who he may devour.
Yeah, you gotta be diligent and vigilant with these devils. You know, they got bait cars and everything. Jake need a ride and shit. They got selling you, like we said, this cheap ass car shit, and they selling you that car for $60,000, $50,000. You think Jake gonna be able to afford that shit? And then they put a seven year payment out and plus interest and shit. And about time you get done paying that shit, the car is old.
It's messed up.
It's messed up, so you gotta buy a whole fucking new car and shit, man. Meanwhile, he's having planes drop barium on you and poison on you and shit.
And when you pay for insurance, it's pointless because like it don't really cover no, it only cover like a percentage. So it's like you pay for insurance, it don't.
Yeah. And then they gonna say you did it. You gotta prove that. And then you're gonna have a public defender, and he's not gonna be for your best interest because you ain't got no money. So it just, then when you want to get a lawyer, they say, well, you got to get the best lawyers. So those are the small fucking hats, man. You think you're going to be able to afford that? It takes like $1,000 to even ask them a question to get some information. So, yeah. Go ahead.
You do it, catch the poor.
He catches the poor. And what do? You lock them up. He catches them. That's why the Most High said in the Bible, you as a bird in the snare and caught up in the net because you never know when you're going to get caught. Because Esau looking at you, he got cameras everywhere. He got satellites and shit, man. You can see, he can read this book right now from the sky, to read. That's how technical he is. Go ahead.
When he draws them into his neck.
Draw him into his neck. Go ahead.
Verse 10, he crouches and humble himself that the poor may fall by his stronghold.
But can a lion crouch himself? Everybody should be like a lion. Hey, I see a lion. I know what that lion's about. He's gonna attack somebody. He's gonna eat somebody. You can't crouch as a lion, but somehow he does with Jake.
And it's student celebrities.
And philosophies and Christianity and all that shit. Yeah. I ain't never seen a Christian lion and shit. They lions are ready to tear up some shit. What you was gonna say?
Oh yeah, just going what you were saying. Yeah, that this is what they use. They use to influence you, Jakes, to keep Jake in a docile mind state to where he gonna take the MOTB, man.
Because you know what, them celebrities, they got their own church. Donnie Kirkland or something. Who was that other? Kirk Franklin and shit. Yeah. And Shirley Caesar and shit. And I think his name Donnie. Yeah. They got their own church. They don't go to no fucking regular church. Those are celebrity churches. Because they want to feel comfortable. They want to have their own, black boule type of church so they can feel good about the shit that they do. The wicked shit that they do. Oh, T.D. Jakes. He's in, isn't he in prison now or something like that?
Oh, he stepped down, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he stepped down and gave it to
him. Yeah, he stepped down. And because he's a fuck boy, he stepped down. Man.
They tried to say something about Kirk Copeland was in, they locked him up, but I guess they said it was something where he wasn't, but he is on trial.
Kenny Copeland.
Yeah, they said he on trial for like tax evasion and stuff, but he ain't in prison yet.
Somebody give him life.
Somebody said that, and we was thinking about that too, but I was like, when I thought about it, I was like, shoot, if he is, man, why do y'all about shit I was shot? It's about time they start paying for all these lies, man, that they spread in the truth about the truth.
What was that other one? Marvin Sapp, I think?
Marvin Sapp.
Yeah. But the Most High, that's how Most High is changing this around. He's changing the right side up. He's breaking into busting these churches open with righteous fire, man. To bring down the strongholds of Jake. Because Jake still believe this bullshit. They still believe in America. They had you in slavery right here. I can see if some of y'all came on equal grounds and shit. Y'all came all on the boat and shit in slavery and shit. And he gave y'all shacks when they finally gave y'all certain housing. He gave you shacks and shit. I looked at some of them shacks, man. I was like, man, it'll make you shed one tear, a Gadite tear, man. A trail of tears and shit, man. Like those are the most bogus houses built that I've ever seen. You know? But I didn't see one of them hit by a tornado or a hurricane, right? Or am I? Some of them might have, right?
You know, you talking about
The housing back then, or Jake, any kind of housing.
yeah, you know, even over here, like that happened a couple years ago. I got caught on one over
Well,
here.
I'm talking about like the old housing, the after slavery, like right after slavery.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of that stuff got destroyed. I couldn't think of like nothing specific though.
Yeah. I mean, you know, my thing is they're controlling the weather. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You know, because they want to rebuild. They want to get rid of this, you know, some of this stuff and build and rebuild it. And it's going to look more technical, more matrix out, but it's going to have that Rome spirit to it.
That's what they do with the fires in LA.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff.
Yep.
The hurricanes in Florida.
Yep.
Recently, and you know, in Atlanta.
Yep.
You know, but the Lord's gonna take them out in the end.
Because the White House ain't got touched. Like anywhere these devils live, they don't get touched. That's why it says the wicked prolong their life.
Yeah, it says their houses are safe from fear,
Yep.
from danger.
Yep.
You know, and
Yep.
that's why they don't understand the judgment of the Lord, because they never really fully got their judgment from Yahweh.
That's it.
Yep.
They haven't fully got it yet, but now all the way back to Abel, all that judgment is finna be paid in this time.
Oh, go to the scripture. The righteous Abel. Right quick.
Yeah. I'll let you read it out.
Should be in.
Matthew 2.
Righteous Abel and Zechariah.
I got it right here.
And a reminder too that blood is fresh. A 1,000 years is one a day to the Most High. So that just happened. Yahweh Shai hadn't been slain too long.
Even a lot of us, you know, a lot of our blood and our past lives are still on some of these trees, man.
Fresh.
You know,
Go ahead.
Matthew 23, verse 34. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. And from the blood of righteous Abel.
Righteous Abel. And that's why I said that's a different. We talking about bloodline, we all bleed the same. No, we don't. Y'all wasn't bleeding like the Negroes when they Negroes were getting whipped and shit and killed and murdered. That's not the same blood. You know? Righteous Abel is not the same blood.
that's why they got that new movie, Final Destination Bloodline.
Yeah, Bloodline,
This is the final destination, man.
Yeah.
This is the final kingdom of wickedness.
Yeah.
Okay, to be in the earth.
Yeah. Because what did it say of Abel when they came slew him? He said his blood cried from the ground. That's righteous blood, not his physical blood, but his spirit cried out for the blood that was spilled that Cain did. And what did Yahweh shot? Y'all slew him on a tree. That was blood. It said blood came out of him and the water came out on the other side. That blood is going to be accounted for upon y'all. What did it say? Even his own people said, let his blood be upon us. His blood. And then look, this is the worst generation ever. And that's why these niggas get shot in the street, because the blood is upon them. And it's going to be worse because the missiles are going to come. It's going to be mixed with blood, fire, you know, water and everything.
And you know, that's why they got movies like that. America is pumping those movies out, man. Because this is where they know this is going to happen, man. This is the lake fire.
Go ahead. Righteous blood.
Right, yeah.
Righteous
blood
Abel.
of righteous Abel.
Blood of righteous Abel. So There's a such thing as bloodline. You know? Go ahead.
And unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias,
Yeah.
whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. And you know what? That proved reincarnation right there. He said, whom ye slew. He talking to them like, yeah, that was y'all.
Yeah,
And that's why I said from all the right from the blood of from righteous Abel to and it said it should be that you get to that part, it should be recorded of this generation.
Yeah, right there, verse 36. Verse 36 it says, verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation.
This generation, man. We're
right.
reading it from it, and that's the generation. It said generation. Gene, generation come from gene. So you have the seed all over again, and it procreates and it keeps going from that bloodline all the way. That's why it's a bloodline in Matthew 1 and 1. All the way from 14 generations from Babylon to Yahweh Shai. They thought how it read. Yeah.
So
and it said begat so and so begot so and so, so and so begot so and so. Those are sons.
I think it's 14 generations.
Having children and having sons of those of that father. Yeah, I know it's 14 generations. I just wonder if I got the other part right. Matthew 1 is 14 generations from Babylon to Yahweh Shai is 14 generations.
Yeah, y'all gonna pay for all that, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This gets into
Just Matthew 1.
Yeah, this is a generation of it's going to generation. It's not talking 14. This is going into right here, 17. Matthew 1 verse 17 goes into all those generations, leading up to now. Leading up to Yahweh Shai, and then continuing on in the day. That's right. So all that has got to get paid for, man. And that makes me think of that. We're going to read it.
Just read it right quick.
All right. This is Matthew chapter 1, verse 17. And it reads, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations.
Yeah, I said, oh yeah, go ahead. 14 generations, go ahead.
And from David until carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Hamashiach.
So why does it talk about the history of Babylon? And if Yahweh Shai is not he doesn't have no significance with the ancient, what happened back in the days of our history. They think it was just a clean slate, like the world started all over again. Man. He was crucified by the Romans, man. The Roman Empire, just like now he's crucified by this Roman Empire by banning his word and all that. And, trying to ban prophecy or trying to upset prophecy. Upset his word. Go ahead.
So from carrying away into Babylon unto Hamashiach, which is Yahweh Shai, are 14 generations.
So that lets you know, generation to generation. And it's reincarnation too. You regenerate generation, it goes in, the circle of life. That means you come around again.
So I said, those that pierced him shall see him. Yeah. Those are the ones who actually was there. Yeah. When he comes down here in Revelation, it speaks of him coming in on a swift cloud, talking about the so-called UFOs and chariots. And they always try to use these movies to make it seem like the Lord doesn't have any type of high power, man. They try to make it seem like he's gonna come down here like on a horse, on a carriage, and stuff. They flying jets out here and shit, man. Why would he come down like that? And that's what the movies do, like just like we was talking about.
Well, did they prepare a horse and carriage when he got caught up into the cloud? And he was looking at the men of Galilee and he said, "Why do you marvel? I wish I returned like this." Did they prepare a carriage and a horse?
No, he just left. And there was a quote. I be looking up the quotes. Mel Gibson said that he was a liar and he said he said acting is like lying, and then he said I'm basically paid to elaborate good lies. That's what Hollywood all this is, man. It's an elaborated lie. So unfortunately, Jake won't wake up, man, and think that this is reality, man. That's what the Lord basically hired them to do. And he can't go past this set amount of days, man. He only got so many days to do that. So just like Saquon said, they already work for us. You know, they're the reason why that there is. They're part of the reason why there is in a place, because everybody else is asleep. You know,
And they got Most High. He show you through his creatures that how magnificent his work is. You got birds that do mimic human, sounds and all that. You got birds that fly backwards. You got some birds that they consider the best birds in the world. I forget how fast they go. You got cheetahs, that's super strength power, but you can't have a man that walks on water. You know what I'm saying? Or a man that levitates, or that's in ships and firmaments. You got the firmaments yourself. The sun, it got more power than we got, but it helps us grow our trees. Somebody has organized that. You go to the sun, you'll burn up, but yet it's humble enough to help us grow our food on the earth. The moon alike and the stars alike, they have their work that they do for the Most High, for us on the earth, really for the Israelites. You know? Go ahead. I got it.
okay. This is Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
We always say, ain't talking about MC Hammer. Even though he got broke, he got broke. Because he didn't have no more money. But no, it's talking about Esau, the hammer of the earth. You know? But what did it say? Shall the axe boast himself against the man that handles the axe, paraphrasing? You know? Nah, he gonna knock the hammer off the earth, take the power from the hammer. You know? But what is he doing? Hammer, he's rebuilding Rome. Hammer and nail. You know? But he's look up that word hammer right quick, see what it says.
Yeah, the blue letter.
Yeah, because if we do Google, it's gonna say entertainer that rapped and had a legacy and had a song called "You Can't Touch This."
Yeah, go to. Oh man,
Gonna have his hammer pants on there.
Jake know that history. He don't know nothing about this, bro.
You know about Hammer.
You know about MC Hammer. Don't got no idea about how Esau ruled the earth, man.
Like we said, they put them in front of us to keep the masses asleep.
Yep.
And they use the trapment of mind.
The strong ones of us, the best influences to keep most of us asleep, man. That's what it's supposed to be like.
We said if you just close to a picture, you don't know what it is. You got to back up. Now the picture comes clear.
Look at it.
So they always right here with Jay. Sports, politics, music, women, everything. They always in the mix. They're orchestrating the thing.
Women, game, video game,
Yep.
all that stuff.
School.
Man. It ain't like
The school system is set up too. All those teachers, they set up, man. I bet all of them. I bet they at least got one heavy masonry teacher in all those schools.
And I do want to mention, you got Jakes that play video games and sports and stuff. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just about knowing your history, man. Knowing who you are and what we were here to put on the earth to do, man.
Basically, you should have the truth to dissect a lot of that.
Yeah,
those games, because all of them got something to it that Esau designed.
Yeah. And Jake, and some of them is putting strongholds on Jake, and you can take that and go into the truth and explain to them what those games is really saying. Because some of them games got a lot of symbolism in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff, because I used to play video games all the time back in the day. Yeah.
But now they
got a
got
lot of shit in there.
now they got Jake on video games. They're just gonna be like, well, let's hook up to the VR, virtual reality.
Yeah, that's what they try to
Grand
do. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
It promotes number of violence and doing whatever.
Yeah. So you're gonna be in the video game. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna become a part of the experience. That's why they say virtual reality, because it's reality to your mind.
And you know, they use Jake's trauma to want to escape true reality and go to that one because it's like basically telling Jake, you can be God here. You can do whatever you want to do right here.
Yeah. It's almost like
you don't got no control over it.
It's almost like taking a drug. It makes you feel like you got superpowers. PCP, speed. Like even some of them boxers, they be like, damn, they didn't call, or the track runners, they didn't call them with drugs in their body because it makes them run faster. Well, they're gonna try to put another pill in you, but the pill is gonna be the MOTB, which is the RFID chip.
And symbolic. The Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out, the number 6. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's gonna be a game. That's gonna be a home record.
Yeah. Yeah. They starting to put Jake. They come on. They got a trap on every level. They got if Jake is advancing and he become more knowledgeable, then they're gonna hit him next. They're gonna hit him where he's knowledgeable, and Jake gonna be like, damn, let me eat off that tree. More fancy, more fashionable, more savvy, more attractive, and all that. Now virtual reality, AI is becoming more attractive than the reality itself.
You know, you're saying that because you think about what AI doing, basically it's like handicapping the people. So it's like a grooming process. Here you go, here it is, and play with it. And that's what they're doing. People are used to ChatGPT, using all these different services just to get the answer down. To a point they're gonna be so addicted to the system they ain't gonna be able to live without it.
Yeah.
Because the system is working for them.
Yeah, it answers. It gives them solutions. Like Google it, and then we'll say that, but we could spit out the bones. We'll say, nah, that ain't adding up with the scriptures. This is the point. This is the Bible. So it's the main thing, man. Go ahead.
How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Yeah, we won't get into that, but this is modern day Babylon, and they the hammer of the earth, so they rule Babylon, they rule the world, they capitalize Babylon, Basra, Idumea, modern day Idumea.
Still on that hammer, blue level.
Yeah.
And that's what's coming. That's like, that scripture is kind of twofold. That's going into today. The Lord's finna take them out.
It says, whole evacuation.
Is it a Greek word for it?
Strong's H 4718.
Kevin's gonna be right
Kevin.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It says whole. Like HOLE.
What scripture did you go to for the hammer? That same one?
Jeremiah 50:23.
Jeremiah 50:1.
23.
You said it's different. You got MC Hammer. You got.
Okay.
Strong's H 6360. Matish.
Right, Matisse. Yeah, Matisse. Probably Matash. Yeah.
It says forge, hammer, and it says
Forge is
it said intensely from an unused root meaning to pound.
pound. Yep. And forge is FORGE.
Yes.
Like forge a writing or something, or forge a signature.
Yeah, it just says forge. I'll see if they had like a root word to it. I think that's it.
Like forge a signature, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of force. enforcement. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know, and
Like, that's what they do with their law.
They forged a wicked society, man, and that's what the Lord set them up to do. And that's what we're in right now. You know, we basically behind enemy lines.
And they're gonna what they plan to have 15-minute cities. They bordering all this shit, and they you know what I'm saying, cutting off certain points of your freedom. We never had freedom in this place. That's a false narrative, man.
And you know, Elon Musk, he actually got his own like set of apartments now. That's all digital. Yeah, it's all digital. Like there's people going in there, the rich, kind of the rich under the elites. Their sons and daughters. They're in these whole just Tesla neighborhoods. Yeah, man.
House gonna close. The house gonna
Because they're gonna have the 15 minutes of ghettos for Jake. Those 15-minute cities ain't gonna be as high tech as the ones for Esau.
And what they're gonna do with this new housing system, I feel like we've already seen houses like that where they're connected. You connected with your neighbor, basically. It's a house, but it's still kind of like set as a connection, like an apartment or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna have everybody in these little communities, and you're gonna have to be in that community, and you're gonna have to abide by those community guidelines. So you're not gonna be. Y'all might have to have a meeting every month or something. You got to be there, just like these jobs and shit. They got jobs during the job hours and shit, the way you got to be there. It ain't really even nothing concerning you. It's concerning their business and shit, and how they prosper in their business and shit. But you got to be there. Like, damn, let me leave and shit. I can listen to y'all 5 minutes. Y'all say something about the employees, and then now y'all want to say something about everything else is about the company. Yeah, we're trying to, compete with other businesses and trying to keep our, retail up and all that. I don't even hear about that shit. And we're not in the business with Esau of anything, of any sort. We're not in the business with him. We give him business. We give him our money. You think he's gonna, try to get a business with us? We're gonna be off the grid if that's the case. Go ahead. You got something. He's the ham of the earth. So that means, he's living his dream in here. It's called American Dream, right? That ain't for the Jackson family. That's for him. What happened to the Jackson family? He destroyed them. He destroyed all of them. The only decent Jackson family member left is Reeve, and and the mother, and she's decently, she's older, but they all got fucked up, man. In Hollywood. Once they got into Hollywood, they was all fucked up. Go ahead. Yeah. And that's how you know back then there were groups. We had groups. There was Temptations. There was the Manhattans. There was the Blue, the OJs, Bobby and the Blue Notes, I think. Bobby, all of them, but they separated them and started, they started fighting and shit. Now it's like one man band, one man performer and shit. So they can break up family. We won't think as group thinking people. So divide and conquer again. Go ahead. I wanted to get more kind of like on his riches and his we know about those scriptures he lived deliciously, but I want to get him as, kind of relating to how he built himself up into riches, man.
So like 10, we got a lot of seed.
Yeah, you can go to that one.
You see Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings.
He unrighteously dealt. He unrighteously dealt with the Native American, so-called Native American.
Injuries.
Go ahead.
Riches got by deceit.
He dug the gold up, had the gold rush. He dug up all the jewels, and all the. That's a beautiful thing, man. Gems and diamonds and jewels coming from the earth. Soil and all that from the gold from the soil is supposed to, like we always say, man, the resources he's pulling out of the earth. The earth is dying. suffering, can't breathe because of him. We're supposed to be walking on gold. You got people that's walking on concrete, feet hurting like a motherfucker. We're supposed to be walking on soil and grass and the land. Because what's in the land? Gold. Gold is a healer. It's a healing element. Like a lot of these gems are healing elements. But are they used? Nah, they're not used because he got them all in his cavern, so to speak. Go ahead.
The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, that's what. Because of that, the kingdom is that's how we know he's at his end. That's how we know he's at his end because he's doing the same thing in America like as in Europe, which is the bottomless pit because it has no resources. He took all the resources out of here, but now it's becoming like a bottomless pit right here in America. You know? Go ahead.
Why is earth and ashes proud?
Why is earth and ashes proud, man? Because you come from the dust, you go back to the dust. Everything turns back to dust, man. You know, how's earth and ashes proud, man? You're just ashes, especially when you get burned up by these nuclear missiles. You're gonna be just ashes. How you gonna be proud? What's gonna be left of a man after this judgment? Go ahead.
There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Let's get then a covetous man. That's what he did. He covered the land. He covered America. Let's get a few from the comment board, the brothers. Okay. I saw one that it showed. Yeah, I think this is it. Kazakh Ban Yawada says, okay. Yeah. Right. It says, an unjust man is an abomination to the just. Yeah, he's an unjust man. He's an abomination to the just, which are the Israelites and saints. He that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. Yeah, we're an abomination to him. That's why, everything he. Yeah, I got to remember. Yeah. Now you keep it up with you, okay? To another part. But and that's why everything like he calls us a hate group, racist group. It ain't been no more racist. And race is just for your own race. Like if I'm for my own race, I'm evil. That's like a parent being for their own child. Are they evil because they own for their own children? They're not checking for the other children on the block. I'm worried about my child. Oh, it was like there's 4 missing children. Well, I got mine. I ain't gonna put out no search warrant for children that ain't mine. I might, like, damn, that's bad. That's unfortunate to happen. But I'm worried about my children. So that's not racist. I mean, it is racist, but racism is not a bad thing. But on their part, they're gonna try to accuse us, like, like they hate. They're a hate group. Well, you're supposed to hate wickedness. You're supposed to hate the man that's trying to hate. So somebody murder your whole family. You're not gonna hate them. You ain't gonna have one hate in your body. Oh, we need to forgive. You ain't gonna say forgive. You're gonna say lock that man up, execute him, like they executed. What's his name? That so-called black man that Kim Kardashian put up money for, which is a joke. His name was Julius Jones. Yeah, they didn't have no mercy for him. And there was another so-called black man that's about to get executed. They want him executed.
And notice you said something like Kim Kardashian. Why is he gotta be the representative, the defense? Kim Kardashian.
Something's up with that. That was in Oklahoma.
All these lawyers and politicians and all that. Why she's a representation of defense?
Yeah. They just don't express their hate because they playing like they Christians, the good guys. Go ahead. We finished that one.
It's last. It said, because while he living, he casts his bounds away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one too.
This is Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 5. And it reads, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches.
Yep. And Most High, it said he would become wiser than Daniel. Most High gave him wisdom on the left hand side. And he said because of that, he won't even give Most High credit that. He's trying to go to the science route, the pseudoscience and all that. He's trying to figure out a way, the Darwin theory and all that. He'll go that route instead of believing in the Most High or giving Most High his due. You know? And it says by he increases what? Riches by that, yeah. And that traffic. This is the city of traffic right here. Everything is done by business. By, like we said, if you don't have no business, you don't have no business. They feel you don't have no business being in America. If you don't have no business that contributes to America, even you as a business, as just walking around as what you can, as a money maker, so to speak, you got to put money in their pocket. And that's going to be the same with the MOTP. If you don't have, how can you contribute to this Neuralink world, this technocracy? Elon Musk, his vision, America's vision, New World Order. If you ain't got that, go ahead.
And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
Yeah, because it's riches. Why? Because riches basically says money answers all things. And that's a form of riches, money. But money is not always it's not always in what they say, time is money. Money can be substituted for a lot of stuff that has value. It's not dollar bills, it's not green dollar bills all the damn time like Jake thinks. Jake could name himself money and not have money. Like, come on, man. You need to keep up with your, at least have some money. Yeah, cash money millionaire. See, if they was broke, they'd become a mockery. Like, ain't y'all the one that was called cash money millionaire, and now y'all broke? So America's gonna become a mockery when the value of this place is down. Man. Most High snatched the power from this place. Go ahead. We'll start to close out. Go ahead.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgressed by wine.
Yeah, by his philosophies. Because what did it say? In the Apocrypha, he said that Esau say by the transgression of our education, how they think and what they think about and how they produce physically what they think as in their plans, their philosophies. We believe that America is, we believe this should be done and this should, people should do this and we should put this in the schools and shit. And that man should be able to sleep with man and man should be able to sleep with the beast and women should be able to, go out their way, from their man if they want to. It's their choice, their body and shit. All these philosophical errors, every type of ways that they have. He transgresses by wine, man. Go ahead.
He is a proud man.
He's a proud man. Just like Antiochus was proud. All those rulers, Edom, Vespasian, his sons, proud. They proud today. They don't think nobody can take them down or nobody can tell them anything. Like, we don't need natural resources. We don't need that much natural resources. We got other things to depend on. We don't need a whole another kind of a system of God. Because we got a system of technology. We got a system underground, and we got electricity on the ground, and it'll work for us. If the nukes hit, we'll survive, and we'll find a way to survive even after the acid, what do they call it, the radiation has died down or dwindled down or whatever. We got we got suits and anything that we need if any case that when we need to come back from that. But what the Most High say, this is their last thing. We ain't no coming back after that. Because we gonna dig them out of their holes. They ain't gonna come out after the radiation has gone down, Most High said he's gonna give men power to snatch them out of the holes. Go ahead.
Neither keep it at home.
He don't keep it at home. You know, no matter where he lay it. Remember said Papa was a Rolling Stone wherever he laid his hat when his home. Well, when he laid his hat, he's still moving on to somewhere else to go, and he don't make it his home and shit. His home is nowhere. He's a vagabond and fugitive. But America, that where he tried to make home, he don't even stay here. He's all over the place, man. And he don't even have to be. Like us, we got scattered. You know, that was our punishment. You know, scattered among these nations. He got transportation. He got the best transportation. He got underground transportation. He got a transportation overall system and shit. But what did he do? He colonized. He's colonizing Mexico. He's colonizing Brazil. He's colonizing Africa. You know, colonizing everywhere. Go ahead.
Who enlarges his desires hell,
Yep.
and is as death,
Yep.
and cannot be satisfied.
Not be satisfied. Oh, everywhere he go, he's expanding borders. He want more and more. He want this land. He wants the waters. He wants the peninsulas. He wants the cities. You know, he wants countries. He wants the resources of those countries. You know, he want it all. Go ahead.
But gathereth unto him all nations,
Yeah,
and heapeth unto him all people.
yeah. And that's how he lives in his heaven. He just, you know, with his riches, his rulership, and with the nations, you know, for his support. Many allies as he can. He'll lie through his teeth to keep those allies, or to keep enough allies with him to have a military might that nobody can deal with. You know, and then to cast the poor under him. You got to have, to be up, you have to have a down. To be on top, you have to have a bottom. To be a master, you have to have a slave. So, yeah, he feels good that we in the state in our condition because it makes him feel like who he is. It makes him feel like a god. He ain't gonna never put no nigga on no money. Negroes was excited as hell. Harriet Tubman on me on $20 bill, nigga. Like, come on, man. And they didn't even do that. They wouldn't even put Harriet Tubman on a food stamp.
Yeah, that's why. What's that? Uncle Ben,
Rice.
Rice. They took his face off of that.
Yeah. Ancient Mama and all that.
Yeah.
They changed that. You know? So, you know,
They might read that scripture, the wicked, cover the faces.
sure.
Change the face.
And he's in his heaven, man. We say a white man's heaven is a black man's hell. So that means we just watched that movie, What Dreams May Come. Yeah, you know, and they said the hell was a condition on it. And they said they believed in reincarnation on it. They actually said the word reincarnation. So as long as they on top, we at the bottom, because what Most High said, he made them the head and us the tail. But when Most High flip it, we gonna be the head, he gonna be the tail. And he gonna go into tradition and slavery in the bottom and the pit for 1,000 years of slavery. Because that's what balances that out. How it is going today. You know? What, you got more on there?
That's it. I just, got a couple little articles.
Oh, okay. We'll get one more on the coming board.
Yes.
Go up, the yeah. Psalm 49 and 11, it says their inward thought is that their houses continue forever. You know, So where is their house? The house of their fathers. Yep. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. It mentions in the Old Testament the house of your father, so that means their bloodline, their seed line. Generation to generation, they want their rulership to last forever. You know, it says, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their the places to all generations, their dwelling places. So he's gonna be around forever in every dwelling place. He's gonna. That's why he set up his monuments. That's why you got Sergio Bourget in Brazil. That's why you got Sergio Bourget statue, and probably Africa. You know, all those places. He's got his monuments, statues, and figures and all that. In the church, in every church around America, you got Sergio Bourget, because he's leaving his part of his leaving his legacy. You know, and it says they call their lands after their own names. So that's what they have done with America. You know, America was known as the new land that no man dwelt. It's in the Bible. They called it after Amerigo Vespucci. They called African after Leo Scipio Africanus. You know?
Jackson,
So
Mississippi.
so they and they're slaves after their name. So now, so now they expanding, increasing their borders through the power that they have through the names and all that. That's representative of them and all that. But the Most High is going to cut, because we're say he shall have no name in the streets. He shall have no nephew remaining left of the house of Esau. And it says the house of Esau, because the house of your father. So your father's the seed and life giver of your generation is going to be done away with. You're not going to be able to have no more children. It even says that with she shall be a widow and have suffer a loss of children. And on our opposite side, we're going to be the prosperous children and to fill our houses with multiply, replenish the earth. You know, but right now they're in their heaven, man. Right now we're in our hell. You know, simple. Hell is not a place underground where you burn forever. We're living in hell, and a lot of so-called black men, even so-called black women, children, they can attest. They'll tell you themselves. What's your experience being in America since growing up? They say it's been hell. You know, in jail, in prison, dealing with them lawsuits, dealing with financial woes, dealing with getting kicked out, evicted, dealing with what do you call it,